Yo, what up, people? It's your boy Sam, and we're here today with another edition of Set the Record Straight, folks, with Sam and Sam, and we're back in Alabama, where we live now. We currently reside. But let me tell y'all something. Man, it was so good to be in Philadelphia with the peoples, with the bros, to be outside the link, to be around the area again, especially for me, being born and raised in South Philadelphia, folks. I was right smack in the middle of the area where I walked, ran around and hung out, and did all kinds of crazy things as a kid growing up, and then even as a young adult. So South Philadelphia, man, it's my home. Philadelphia is my home. Philly is always in my heart. Philly. And it was good to be there. It was good to be there and see my bros again. Mark, Omar, Chris, Byron, we missed you, bro. But next time we come through, we're looking forward to have you on with us. And again, we enjoyed absolutely everything there was about Philadelphia, our hometown. But folks, we wanted to come before y'all with this edition of Set the Record Straight with Sam and Sam, because we had a few things we wanted to go over before we get moving into training camp, and then eventually the season. But I definitely want to first start by talking about those massive, amazing rings that the team unfolded a couple days ago. Folks, that's championship quality stuff right there.
Oh, yeah.
And that time was a time of 24 karat magic, where those boys had a chance to take those big rings out and show them before the world and display them in fine fashion. So here the thing is with that, folks, and in the words of my father-in-law, if you don't like that, then learn to love it, because again, we rolling, and we asking the same question that Bruno Mars asked in their song 24 Karat Magic. NFL, what y'all trying to do with us? What y'all trying to do? So all Eagles fans out there who had a chance to check those rings out and see that fine gold and them diamonds and them rings on that thing, here's what we need to do before we get started with the rest of this thing. Take your Super Bowl finger, raise it in the air, and say 24 karat magic in the air, baby, because that's us all day, baby. Super Bowl champions moving into this season. So with that, we have training camp. The fun is over. The celebration is over. Folks, it's time for us to get down to business. And the business is defending this championship and getting back and repeating. That's the business. The business at hand is repeating as champions. Gotta lock in. We gotta lock in. Just like Sammy said, the fun is over. It's time to lock in. Folks, I'm so excited. I don't know about you, Sammy, but I'm excited. I'm excited about the potential of what's to come. I'm excited about watching these guys actually get on the field and practice with one another, and then eventually begin to practice for other teams. But the main things I am looking for in training camp is just two. And the first is this wide receiver room. Now, folks, we already know who the top three wide receivers are of the Philadelphia Eagles right now. We already know, without question, it's AJ, it's Smitty, and then we got Jahan. And folks, I'm looking really forward to seeing what Jahan does in this offense with a full year now under his belt. Starting in training camp, rolling, getting, he knows the offense already. He was here last year. He won the Super Bowl with us, and he had a couple of great catches. But my thing is now to see exactly how he is implemented in this offense. And one thing I want to say about Jahan Dotson, folks, is that man took advantage of every opportunity that was given him by Jalen when a ball was thrown. And that's really what it's about. When you're playing a wide receiver position, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no crying about anything. The bottom line is that we have a plethora of receivers, with the two top receivers that we have in AJ and Smitty being two of the best in the league. So with with that third receiver, it will behoove that person to make plays, to make the most of their opportunities. And my man Jahan did that last year. I am looking forward to him doing that this year. So there are two receivers that I would like to see play behind Jahan to solidify the receiver room. I would like to see the kid Gray that they picked up from San Francisco. And I would like to also see Terrence Marshall Jr. Here's the reason why. No disrespect to Ainias Smith or Johnny Wilson. I like Johnny a lot. Everybody who knows me know I like Johnny. But in order for us to repeat, I feel like those two receivers are going to be crucial in completing this receiver room because they're both veterans. Not to mention that Danny Gray is a speedster, and I'm gonna break down real quick why I believe that he is really important in this offense. I believe that Danny Gray is going to be important in this offense because of his ability to stretch the field. Now, again, if you look at the Eagles' offense in 2022, 2023, one of the things that allowed that team to be explosive and in regards to passing the ball was that number 3 receiver at the time, who was Quez Watkins. And I know everybody was down on Quez, but one thing that Quez did was he took the top off of defenses and made them respect us throwing the ball deep, which stretched out defenses and gave us the ability to throw the ball underneath without any real problem or contention. Again, last year that was a little bit of a problem because we didn't have anyone to really stretch the field. Danny Gray got world-class speed, folks. So I'm looking for him to be the guy to stretch this defense and open things up underneath for Smitty. Open things up underneath for AJ, even some intermediate throws for our tight end, Dallas Goedert. So, folks, I'm looking for that this year. We had a great running game last year. That was excellent. But I'm telling y'all right now, if we think that the league is going to allow us to come out and run the ball the way we did last year, we got another thing coming. It's not happening. So the Eagles must be ready to throw the football. And those are two guys, my main man, Gray, and Terrace Marshall, who I think really can help us in that aspect.
I really like Terrace Marshall, mainly because he's a big body wide receiver, a nice big target for Jalen to throw the ball to. He's bounced around a couple of teams, had sadly some unfortunate situations with those teams. But he came from LSU, balled out at LSU, so I think he can step in here and make some real big plays for the Eagles this upcoming year.
I agree with Sammy, man. That's why I like him. I like him because he's big and he's sure-handed also. And Terrace Marshall was one of the names that was coming out of our mini camp, earlier in the spring as a guy who was making plays. And there are content creators who I love, Eagles content creators, who were saying that, oh, he's just a camp body, this and that and the other. And I sat with my son as I was watching a few of the content creators that I respect, of quite a few guys out there that I respect. And I said to my son, Sammy, I said, I don't agree with that. I think Terrace Marshall is going to be more than a camp body. He's going to be a contributor to his offense. And it was kind of funny that as I said that, a little while later, we hear at minicamp that he's out there making plays and making catches and becoming a guy that Jalen trusts. So, folks, again, man, before we start talking about who's going to be what, you got to know the player and you got to understand what the player's capabilities are. I think Terrace Marshall is a heck of a player. If you watched him at LSU, and you knew anything about his ability at LSU to make plays, I keep telling people, watch college football and you'll know the type player that you got. The player may not be the best that they can be because of the team they're on. Teams and schemes mean a lot when it comes to this thing called football, also quarterback play. So he's stepping on a team with game-breaking Super Bowl MVP quarterback Jalen Hurts. And honestly, I don't care about those who are putting him on, the bottom of their lists or whatever. Everybody got a problem with the list that he's on. Folks, for me, it's over. I've already stated my case in regard to how I feel about Jalen, and he stated his own case by winning the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowl MVP. So honestly, it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. So anybody that got something to say about where he should be on the list, go back and look at the tape from last Super Bowl. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Let's move on really quickly before we close out to the second positions that I would like to talk about, and that is the cornerback position for training camp and the safety position. Now, there are a lot of people who want content creators who would like to see veteran cornerbacks play next to Quinyon Mitchell. Me, I'm different. I feel like our secondary needs to continue to be filled with youth, and it needs to be a youth movement in that particular position group. Folks, why? The reason being is because the NFL is getting younger and faster with talent. And what you don't need to do is bring in veterans who are old, slowing down, cost a lot of money, and whose bodies have the potential to break down during the course of the season. I like Keely. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't know about Keelan. I don't know about. I'm telling you all that I know, that I believe that young man is going to come in and make a lot of noise this year. And there are a couple of reasons why. The kid is big. I've said this before about him. You're talking about a kid that's 6'2", 6'3", 212 pounds that runs a 3.5, 3.4 in the 40, folks. You're talking about a kid that likes to put his hands on people. So when you're talking about the secondary group, mainly the cornerback group being complete, you have Guantanamo, who's physical. You have my main man, Coop DeJean, who's physical. And then you're going to have Kelee Ringo, who's physical as well. That's 3 physical receivers that can play almost any receiver in the NFL. That's very important, folks. I don't want an old veteran cornerback coming into this team, taking playing time away from those guys, especially when Vic Fangio said that all Kelee Ringo needs is reps. So with that being said, training camp is an opportunity for him to get reps and to become the best corner he can be. I want him starting next to Guantanamo with our main man Coop in the middle. The safety position, before I close, I would like to see what happens with this strong safety position. We already know that Blankenship got the free safety position locked up.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily because of what's going to happen with Sidney Brown. And currently right now, my main man that we just drafted,
Andrew Mukuba,
is dealing with issues with this contract. And I don't know if he's going to be signed next. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him. But as that strong safety position goes, I would really like to see my main man crash out, Sidney Brown, a.k.a. crash out Sidney Brown, win that position because I feel like Sidney has a lot to prove. Sidney is physical. Sidney has the speed to cover. And I like the fact that you could bring Sidney down and play him in a box as well. Now, and Mukuba has those same traits. But Sidney has a couple years in the league, folks. So I would really like to see Sidney start and Mukuba hopefully get signed and then play behind him. Sam, you got anything to say about that before we close?
Sidney Brown is going to give you 110% every play.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason why I want him to start. Is because what I've seen from Mukuba is, and I'm glad we drafted Mukuba because, like, you need some tone setters back there.
You
right?
do.
Sidney Brown,
you do.
Mukuba. You need some guys that are back there that are going to set the tone of the game. Yeah. Essentially what C.J. Gardner-Johnson did for us last season in 2022. You need some guys back there who are going to let you know that we have come here to play some football, y'all. And yeah, that's why I like both of those guys.
Yeah.
I like them. I like them a lot.
It's a good point, too. Again, because CJ was a tone setter, and shout out to CJ, man. A guy that, again, when he started, we ended up in 2 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. So CJ is going to be missed. And again, we're going to need someone who's going to be physical enough to be able to step in and be able to play like CJ played on a physical level. And we like Mukuba. Mukuba, from what we saw, is a physical. He's a physical safety. My only issue with his physicality is his weight. I don't know about his frame. At roughly around 190 pounds or so, 197 pounds. The way that he likes to play, which is physical, I don't know if his body will hold up on an NFL level. The NFL level is different from collegiate ball. And again, we don't really know what he'll be like, but the kid has the ability. The kid has the skills, and the kid has the heart. But again, I would like to see Sidney start. And folks, as training camp comes, let's get ready. Let's get locked in. Let's get ourselves together. Let's get ready to move into another great football season. Because again, folks, we're coming into this season ready to repeat, ready to defend. And I believe that everybody on this team, from the coaches to the owner to the quarterback to the rest of the team, is ready to make this happen. Mm-hmm. So, folks, we want to thank y'all for joining us for this another edition of Set the Record Straight with Sam and Sam. Folks, it's been a pleasure being with y'all. We're asking that all of you who like what we do and love what we do to like it, please. And subscribe also. And we also want to thank y'all for your comments. Y'all comments are much appreciated. And when we get time, we will get to them because, again, everything that y'all say and write in those comments are valuable to us. And we appreciate y'all's support. Till next time, this is Set the Record Straight with Sam and Sam. Peace.